To windsurf around Hayling is to windsurf around the history of the sport itself. Ever since Peter Chilvers invented his sailboard on Hayling in 1958 as a 12-year-old boy, Hayling Island has been the home of windsurfing on England's south coast. Of course, by its very nature, a circumnavigation means visiting all of the windsurfing destinations on the island, including Hayling Island Sailing Club, the seafront at Inn on the Beach, and what is affectionately known as the SO Garage, providing access to Langstone Harbour, all with their wildly different conditions, sea states and tides. In 1980, Peter Chilvers and Steve West windsurfed around Hayling and concluded a race should be offered. Such was the popularity of the sport by then. In 1981, the first non-stop round Hayling race was co-founded by Steve West and Peter Williams, known as the Long Distance Round the Island Post House Prize Race. There were 200 entrants. The following year, £1,000 prize money was offered, and the event continued to grow until 555 competitors entered in 1991 to what was then the Budweiser Non-Stop Marathon. However, by 1999 there were only 111 entrants who participated and 45 who finished. Windsurfing had truly become a minority sport, and its resurgence could never have been predicted. That was the year I stepped onto a board for the first time.
Well, hello there guys. Hope all's well. I'm just going over the bar at the entrance of Chichester Harbour. And one of the curiosities of Chichester Harbour is that the tide takes 5 hours to go out and 7 hours to come in. So what you have is a 6-knot ebb, at least on the springs, and a 2 or 3 knot flood, again on the springs. It's actually very imbalanced. There we go, there's the gust. That's better. Just coming up to the Inn on the Beach here, which is nice. So I'm heading to West Hayling, so that's some progress, not very quick, but some progress. And yeah, there's a bit of wind out here. I'm having to go around the sandbar, West Winner sandbar, because it's low tide. It's neap at the moment, so at the bottom of the tide it shouldn't be too shallow. So this is the Portsmouth side, and this is the Hayling side. Good gust here. Well, it's certainly been a very leisurely start to the morning. Totally flat on the Hayling seafront, which was nice, but the wind was really quite easterly. It was east of northeast, and that's not going to do the job of getting me to the handle. Well, it might, but getting back is going to be a struggle. So I thought I'd prioritise the important things, and I've come in for a cappuccino at the ferry boat at the entrance of Langstone Harbour. Here it is. Hayling side, and over there is the Portsmouth side. Wow, it's quite windy here in Langstone Harbour. Nice. I've been sheltered by Hayling going down the seafront, and now I'm seeing what 20 to 32 knots looks like. This is a bit of an interesting situation. The water's about 6 inches deep, and I'm attempting to go through the Billy Train Gap. This is really classic stuff. There's no water at the bridge, so I think I'll pull in for lunch, and hopefully they've got a table at the Broad Oak, which would be nice, and wait for the water to come in. I've I've arrived at the bridge at the very bottom of the tide. It is in fact coming in, but it's going to be another couple of hours before I can actually sail on towards Northerny. So I'm going to relax. I'm kind of making today up as I go along. The original plan was to head to the Hamble, but yeah, the wind proved too easterly. I realised as I was going around West Winner Bank, and so ducked into Langston Harbour as you saw, and quick lap round Hayling, except it's not quick, it's extremely slow, and I'm going to enjoy the sights while I'm here. So we've got Langston Sailing Club just over here, and it was from here where we launched Lively Lancer. My family used to own a westerly jouster, which is still on the Hayling trots under new membership, and yeah, her maiden voyage was from here in about 25 knots. It's quite memorable, but we made it back into Chichester Harbour in the dark, so that was all good. Right, let's go and find some lunch. So here I am standing at Langston, and you can see quite the famous view behind me of the Royal Oak, and I'm just standing outside the ship. But one thing I was just going to point out is you're always going to have low tides in the middle of the day when it's neap, and if you've got high tides in the middle of the day, it's a spring. So that's always worth knowing. And I'm showing you this view because Tony Parsons is an artist I follow, and check out his stuff. I'll put the link below, and I actually bought a painting from him which I really liked, and it's of this view. It's so distinctive, so you know exactly where you are, and well, see what you think. So I'm just sitting here waiting for the tide to come in, and there's a couple of easy ways I can tell by looking at these boats how deep that water is. You can see some are lying in different ways to others. So this one, we're looking at the beam, that's on the hard. We're looking at the stern of that one and the bow of that one. Now in a 25 knot wind, they would all align. So we know that these two are on the hard, or at least if those boats, I'm guessing they're about 25 foot. If they draw about 2 meters, there's less than 2 meters depth there, which of course is plenty for me. But if you look over here, you can see this boat here is actually swinging. So yeah, there it is, it's just moving. So that's obviously free from the bottom. And I just need a channel wide enough to be able to beat up, so tack into windward along here. I'll be able to do that shortly. Yikes! Oh, that was close. Thankfully didn't go through the sail there. I've done a lot of eating so far, and quite a lot of mudlarking, and not much windsurfing. So, glad to be back on the water. These are the kayakers I saw over at the ferry boat. Not bad for a heading upwind. Right, ferry over into Chichester Harbour. I'm now finally in the back footstep. Hayling Island Sailing Club ahead. Just closing in on Hayling Island Sailing Club to complete the lap. And I'm just thinking about what I might want to do now. It's half past 2. High tide is at 6. There's been a bit of wind over tide on the trots here. Nothing too challenging. Wind's still doing a solid 20 knots from the east-northeast, which is a pretty unusual direction. But having the neat tide gives you more flexibility. There we go, there's one lap of Hayling, which was very leisurely. And I'm kind of tempted to give it another whirl. Now there's a bit more water. Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, lap 2 coming up. Tide's now coming in quite aggressively. But here we go for the second lap. Now I'm back at the corner, west corner of Hayling, at the ferry boat. And, well, what a difference the tide makes. I was able to go straight over the sandbar of West Winner, which cut a huge detour out to sea that I did the first time. And now you can see the water dancing as it comes in. So it's going to be quite strongly in my favour. So long may that last.
The World War II Mulberry Harbour concrete wreck was built as a temporary portable harbour designed to facilitate the rapid offloading of cargo onto beaches during the Allied invasion in June 1944.
The tide now is coming in, so I'm getting a bit of tidal assist, or as they say, a bit of a lee bow. So it's catching the nose of the board and taking me upwind. Okay, I'm making pretty good progress up Langston Harbour here. It's definitely helped where it's flatter nearer the bridge. I reckon I'll get there in about 15-20 minutes. Hello guys, I've taken a break on the terrace here at Langston Sailing Club, and the good people of Langston Sailing Club have very kindly got me a coffee, which has been great. It's just here, and I've been hearing about the yardstick, which was founded here originally for handicap racing. This is the home of handicap racing, I've just learned. And we're going to have a look at the yardstick now, so here we go. Thanks. Little yardstick documentary. Portsmouth yardstick. Ah, there it is. If you can read that. Well, it says Portsmouth yardstick. I'm not sure how I'm going to decipher this, but elapsed time and corrected time, I guess, is the time that's actually achieved, and then there's adjustments for it, I'd guess. But great, thank you very much for showing me that.
And one of these gentlemen in these pictures is the developer of that system.
Langston Sailing Club.
It's great seeing you, Henry.
See you. Alright, thank you.
Thank you. Right, thank you, good luck.
Thanks. You can see how much higher the water is than when I was here 2 hours ago. It's come right up and it's still coming in, and it's flowing westward under the bridge, so I'm going to have to fight my way under. Wow, this is a lot easier the second time round when there's a bit of water to go out, rather than going up a little drag. winning them. Yes! I've completed the second lap. That's nice. And I'm going to see what happens if I keep going. I'm going to stay really far in short. I don't want to get messed up by the tide. And I'm back in Langston Harbour for the third time today. I'm glad to say there's still wind. It's not as windy as it was on the second lap. And I've got a slack tide as well. So it's not going to help me, I've got no lee bow. I'm just going to earn every mile upwind. Anyway, let's do it. Wow, there's been some huge gusts here in Langston Harbour. I'm glad I'm on my 6.5. 7.5 will be way too much. Anyway, the tide's starting to work against me. So I'm going as fast as I can. And I'm also going out to the edges of the channel to stay out of the tide. Just need to get to the bridge, come on! Hayling. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, like and subscribe if you did. Wow, I don't know why, if someone can do 4 times, I'll be very impressed. And if you enjoyed this video, you can also watch my video up here, which is the 10 tips on windsurfing around Hayling, or you can watch my trip to Brighton from Hayling a couple of months ago, which is